Welcome to the Viva Vegan Minisode with me, Faye.
And me, Kit.
So, for those of you who are regular viewers, you will realise that this is not Erin. So we're going to welcome Kit to the Minisode. So, Kit, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure thing. I have been working at Viva since January. I am a campaigner, and I don't know, what do you want to know?
How about you tell us a little bit about how you first went vegan?
Sure thing. So I went vegan when I was 16. I did Veganuary, and I thought there was no way I was going to last a month. I wasn't even vegetarian beforehand. I just went straight into it overnight, thinking, yeah, no way I could last a month. And then I did, and I started researching and I started looking into it, and I went, oh, wow, okay, this is actually something that really aligns with my values, and I stuck to it ever since.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah, very good. One of the first initiatives that Kit has been involved with is the brand new Halfway Heroes campaign that we're running. So, Kit, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure thing. So, Halfway Heroes is Viva's new environmental campaign. So, it's really aimed at meat eaters and people who are interested in reducing their meat consumption, especially because of the environmental impacts of eating meat and dairy. So Halfway Heroes is encouraging people to go halfway, to go 50% plant-based, to start on their vegan journey and hopefully go all the way in the end.
Brilliant. And it is a great initiative because, as you know, a lot of people find it very difficult to do what you did and just overnight become vegan.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a bit of a journey. Everyone comes into it in a different way.
Yeah, it's not easy.
So yeah, this is a great kind of first step for those people. And you had quite a bit of fun as well filming the latest campaign video, which involves somebody in a burger outfit. Somebody, not saying who. Which we're going to play right now. Enjoy. So hopefully you enjoyed that. There was a lot of interest, wasn't there, from the general public while that was being filmed?
Yeah, it was a slightly surreal day, but it was really fun. And yeah, we got a lot of interest, and we were going around with flyers explaining the campaign, giving a bit of context as to why we were running around in these silly costumes. So yeah, it was really fun.
I particularly liked that there were scenes that were a bit reminiscent of Skins. Now, was that on purpose because we were in Bristol, or...?
Yeah, it sort of happened that way as we were walking through Bristol, and we go, oh yeah, that's from... Oh yeah, we kind of ended up in those locations.
Yeah, so any fans of Skins, you will also see some great locations. But yeah, a lot of fun. We're going to kind of supplement that video as well with the latest tour.
So we're off later in June, so we're doing an event in Bristol and then in Bath, Manchester, Leeds and Oxford. Come along for a free burger.
Yeah, free burgers, and handing out a lot of leaflets as well to talk to the general public. So yeah, if you're interested, please do come along and get down to some of those cities. So a lot of you might have already seen our Dairy is Scary cinema advert. It's been a huge success. The campaign meant that we've actually reached 1 million people in cinemas. It's terrifying, it's brilliant, and it's really hard hitting. We have received a few complaints, but you know, that's fine, we can live with that. Off the back of that Dairy is Scary cinema ad, we will be going on tour again towards the end of July.
Yeah, so we're going to be going to 5 different cities across the UK at the end of July, talking to hopefully thousands of members of the public about the realities of the dairy industry and what those animals go through and what they can do to change that.
So some of you may have noticed our not so subtle product placement. The cookbook Everyone Can Cook Vegan has been doing incredibly well. It's been flying off the shelves, but we do still have some copies left if anyone's interested. We were just discussing this because we're into summer now. There's some beautiful recipes in there. We've got quiches, we've got salads. You've got my favourite, which is the mushroom bourguignon.
Not very summery, but
not so
still
summery,
great.
but yeah, very beautiful. So yeah, just wanted to let you know that this is still very much available at the shop. You can buy it online, or we're going to be at Vegan Campout selling this as well.
Yeah.
So get yourself a copy. It's beautiful and tasty. So we wanted to talk about a recent study that was conducted by Vasa University in Finland, which is basically all about why vegans and vegetarians generally elicit fears of contempt, envy and hate in people.
Yep.
So this was a study that was done, wasn't it, Kate?
Yeah, so they surveyed thousands of people across Europe, asking them to judge imaginary shoppers based on their grocery lists, and pretty much the more plant-based the grocery list was, the angrier the meat-eating participants felt, which, that's great, yeah.
I think the reasons for this, according to the study, were that it was kind of a reflection on their own feelings of inadequacy as well, because it was the choices that they knew they should be making deep down but didn't really want to deal with.
Yeah, it's hard not to feel judgment when you sort of know there's something that you should change.
But it made us giggle. One of the parts, though, that I did find slightly disturbing was that it also elicited feelings of actually wanting to behave aggressively towards people because of their choices for food, which, you know, is quite worrying.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it made us laugh. So if you're interested in reading that, we'll put a link in the description so you can have a look at that. So we wanted to talk about this next story, which has been doing the rounds a little bit on the internet. Well, it has for me anyway, and that might be because I'm turning 40 and now all I get are perimenopause and menopause adverts and stories targeted. Thank you, internet. So a study conducted by the Menopause Society has revealed that a low-fat vegan diet can help to reduce the symptoms of hot flushes and also can assist in the aid of sort of weight loss as well over a 4-week period.
Yeah, so they even found that regardless of how much of the vegan diet was processed or not processed, it didn't really make any difference to the symptoms, which is really interesting.
Yeah, so basically a plant-based diet is the way to go to help reduce symptoms, so that's really good for me to know.
Yeah, so our final story is about the vegan pet food market, which has been projected to double in size in the next 10 years, which is pretty amazing. People are really coming to grips with the ethical and environmental issues associated with meat pet foods. Apparently in the US, 20% of all farmed land animals are fed to cats and dogs, which is pretty immense.
It's insane amounts. It's really crazy. Yeah, and like you say, as people are becoming more aware, there's been a massive shift, and this is an industry that's booming. Apparently 72.3% as well of vegan dog food, like vegan food for companion animals, is for dogs. So yeah, that's a really good place to invest in, it looks like.
Yeah, if you've got any money lying around.
If you've got any money, I mean, there's a little tip. And that leads us actually quite nicely to our guest who will be on season 5 of the podcast, Claire Lucy. She will be coming on. She's a pet nutritionist. So that's a fascinating interview. We'll be launching that in the next few weeks, so keep your eyes peeled. We'll also be talking to some other guests, including the incredible Dr. Silas Rao, who you've probably heard of his books. He is amazing. Systems engineer turned climate crisis expert. We're speaking to Tanya O'Callaghan, who I personally think is great and really cool. She's played with Maynard James Keenan of Tool. She's performed with Whitesnake, Dee Snider, lots of great rock bands. We've also got Tony Wardle, Associate Director, speaking to Juliet, discussing 30 years of Viva and telling a few of the kind of anecdotes along the way.
Yeah, there's some fun anecdotes in there.
And we also have Kate Nash on there, who you probably all have heard of. She's pretty great and very well known. So we discuss her involvement with Glow and her TV career, her music career, and how she became vegan. We also kind of get into the It's quite existential at parts, but it's really thought-provoking and a really good interview.
Yeah, we've got an amazing lineup of guests this season, so I've only seen one of them, so I'm really excited to watch the rest.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us this month, and we'll see you next month.
Yeah, see you next month.
Bye.